Welcome to VARINDIA News Hour. Chip manufacturers have increased production but still not able to meet the demand. We have been seeing the global shortage of semiconductors. The semiconductor industry found itself in an unaccustomed spotlight. Suddenly, everyone was talking about the tiny chips that enable many different car functions, from interior lighting to seat control to blind spot detection. When some high-tech and consumer electronics companies began to experience chip shortages or voiced concerns about supply chains, the attention intensified. It's now clear to all that we are living in a semiconductor world. A report says there is a huge demand-supply gap. The global smartphone applications processor market grew 23% to $30.8 billion in 2021. But the current chip shortage is unlikely to be resolved in the near future, partly because of the complexities of the semiconductor production process. Typical lead times can exceed 4 months for products that are already well established in a manufacturing line. Increasing capacity by moving a product to another manufacturing site usually adds another 6 months, even in existing plants. Switching to a different manufacturer typically adds another year or more because the chip's designs requires alterations to match the specific manufacturing processes of the new partner. And some chips can contain manufacturer-specific intellectual property that may require alterations or licensing. Sales are jumping as computer chips spread to every part of consumers' lives, becoming essential components of products from cars to smart devices to clothing. Surging demand during pandemic also resulted in a shortage. There has been rapid growth of the technology sector and increased cloud usage, as well as ongoing consolidation in many sub-segments. One consequence is that the semiconductor industry's profitability has improved significantly relative to other industries, and this trend is expected to continue. When we saw the statistics, Qualcomm tops the global smartphone apps chip market with double-digit growth. Qualcomm maintained its smartphone AP leadership with a 38% revenue share, followed by MediaTek and Apple with 26% each, according to market research firm Strategy Analytics. A report says car makers rely on bigger, older chips, while phone makers are using the latest processors. The generation of chips that the auto industry uses is 5 years behind smartphones and consumer durables, whereas smartphones are sold in far higher volumes than vehicles, making them a preferred customer of suppliers. Another report says the demand for latest processors comes with the introduction of new smartphone apps and applications. Amid the acute demand-supply gap, the global smartphone applications processor market grew 23% to $30.8 billion in 2021. Apple, MediaTek, Qualcomm and Unisoc gained market share, while HiSilicon and Samsung LSI lost shares. The main cause of the issue is there is imbalance of the supply chain due to geopolitical issues. Let's look into today's headlines in VARINDIA. Aruba introduces world's first self-locating access points. Aruba has introduced the first self-locating access points, which creates a foundation for accurate indoor location. The goal is to bring the ease and widespread adoption of outdoor GPS to indoor environments. With Aruba's self-locating indoor APs, enterprises and service providers will be able to deliver location-aware applications more quickly, accurately and at scale. In the future, indoor location services will be applied in a variety of new ways to extract value. Coinbase suspends UPI payments option in India. US-based crypto exchange Coinbase has had to halt the option on purchasing cryptocurrencies through the unified payments interface just after 3 days it has announced its plans to launch crypto trading in India. The app currently shows that the users can sell via IMPS method. Buying option is unavailable at the moment. Last week, the company announced that it will allow users to use UPI. The same night, the National Payments Corporation of India issued a statement saying it is not aware of any crypto exchange using UPI. Elevation Capital raises record 670 million. Early stage investor Elevation Capital, formerly SAIF Partners, which has backed unicorns like Swiggy, Paytm, Urban Company and Meesho, has closed its largest ever 8 India dedicated fund with a corpus of $670 million. Elevation's $670 million Fund 8 will allow it to make a larger initial investment and support them in the growth stages as well. Apart from emerging themes such as Web3 and cryptocurrency, the company plans to invest in sectors such as consumer internet, fintech, SaaS. Flipkart increases IPO valuation target to $60 to $70 billion. Walmart's India e-commerce company Flipkart has internally raised its IPO valuation target by around a third to $60 to $70 billion and now plans a US listing in 2023 instead of this year. The reason behind waiting for the IPO is due to Flipkart's internal plan to boost valuation further by focusing on two of its relatively new businesses, that is online healthcare services and travel bookings. The ongoing global market turmoil sparked by the Russia-Ukraine crisis also forced the company to reconsider its timeline. US government criticizes India's data localization rules. The US has criticized India's data localization norms and draft e-commerce policy, terming certain proposals as most discriminatory and trade distortive. The report also said that proposals of India's draft national e-commerce policy, such as data localization requirements and restrictions on cross-border data flows, are discriminatory in nature. It also said these requirements raise costs for suppliers of data-intensive services by forcing the construction of unnecessary redundant data centers and prevent local firms from taking advantage of the best global services available. That's all for now. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to VARINDIA News Magazine. You can download the VARINDIA app from Google Play Store and Apple App Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.